Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Three topics, but actually there's only one, and there is the Middle East. I've been nice. I didn't mention the Eye of the Sauron yet. So, the first topic. Trump commits the United States of America, us, to defending Qatar's security. Except in case of the Eye of Sauron. I will show you. It's a little catch. Second, Russia does not recognize return of United Nations sanctions on Iran. So the United Nations reimposed some sanctions on Iran, and Russia says, no, we're not going to follow those. We're not going to respect them. We're going to violate them. What are you going to do about it? Why? You haven't done anything to condemn those guys and those guys and those guys. You're telling me now, no. We are going to protect Iran. Against whom? The point is, the United Nations, more than ever, is exposed as an impotent body. It just legitimizes the big powers' actions. That's all. When a big power doesn't want something to be done, the rest of the world could be on the other side. If the United States of America or China or Russia says no, it's a no. So that's the second one. The third one, Greta Thunberg, was with a flotilla going towards Israel to, bring some humanitarian aid, according to these guys. And Israel's military, boarded and arrested them. The reason why I picked this article is not to report on Greta Garbo. I don't give a shit about her, just so you know. And I knew that once she's gonna embark in, criticizing Israel, she's toast. And she is. From a activist into green energy, renewable, how dare you? She's gonna be a persona non grata since she said something about the Palestinians. And since then, she's been arrested 40,000 times, and she's a bad person. I said that many times in my videos. Go and check them out. And that's the exact time when she started talking about Israel and Palestine. She was done. All the support, all the loving she's got. But the reason why I picked up these two articles, one from the Russians and one from CNN, they report the same arrest, the same action of the Israeli military. Legal or illegal? Well, the Russians tell you immediately the most important thing, which is, where did the Israeli Navy military stop, boarded and arrested the free people on that flotilla? Was it in Israel's waters? Or was it in the international waters? Well, the guys from Sputnik, the evil Russians, tell you in the first sentence. The CNN doesn't tell you in the entire article. Yeah, the free media in the West. All right, let's start with the beginning, which is Donald Trump. CNN, Donald Trump commits United States to defend Qatar security. Why? Because Israel attacked Doha, whatever in Qatar, violated its airspace, its sovereignty, like a declaration of war. Like, imagine tomorrow the Mexicans don't like some people in the United States of America and just strike someone in a building with a missile or a few missiles in Washington, D.C. And the United States of America would be okay. Well, the problem is Qatar was under U.S. protections before. It has Patriot systems. It has the biggest American military base in the Middle East is located in Qatar. Not a single air defense missile was launched to tackle the American missiles launched by the American planes operated by the Israeli Air Force. Not one. Why? The order was given to stand down. The same as Lyndon Johnson did with those airplanes, fighter jets that took off from, I think, Germany in order to defend USS Liberty when it was attacked by our ally and tried to be blamed on the Egyptians. Go and check the USS Liberty crime. But hey, Lyndon Johnson picked up the phone and says, turn around, we're not going to attack our ally. The ally can attack us, but we cannot even defend ourselves. All right, so here it is. And the catch here is where defending means. I will show you somewhere at the bottom what this means. Right here. The United States shall regard any armed attack on its territory, sovereignty, or critical infrastructure of the state of Qatar as a threat to the peace and security of the United States. Oh my God! Isn't that bad, man? Executive order. That means if Israel strikes again, these guys will see it as an attack on territory, on the peace and security of us. No. Let me show you what they are. Trump orders says U.S. will take all lawful and appropriate measures to defend Qatar. Okay. And this is what's the most important thing. In the event of such an attack, and I'm quoting, the United States shall take all lawful and appropriate measures. And this is including diplomatic. That means they're going to talk. Hey, don't do this again. That's exactly what happened before. Diplomatic, economic is not going to happen. And if necessary, military. So, do you think that if Israel strikes Qatar again, the U.S. will attack Israel? I mean, imagine Iran. Let's imagine Iran striking Qatar. Do you think the Americans will say, we're going to just diplomatically talk to Iran? Oh my God, it's a declaration of war. We told you, we warned you. This is your country. All right, this is your country. I know what's going on here. It's for people who are, This is your country. Just country? No, it's not. All right, next one. Told you many times before that the Russians, the Chinese, and the rest of the world will start creating, or I at least urge them to create alternative or alternate institutions, international institutions. Like, for instance, companies that you have maritime insurance body of blah, blah, blah. They should make their own. And then they will go head to head. Like, for instance, when the West will claim the Russian, the Chinese, the whatever vessels they don't like, violate whatever principle in the charter of the whatever organization, the Russians and the rest should have their organization who said, no, that's not true according to our organization. Fuck your organization. In the meantime, what you did, we will consider illegal according to our organization. So you are in violation of our law. Got it? And it seems like they're doing, and they will do it, because otherwise these laws, these things were not made by Bangladesh or my people from Zimbabwe, my friends. No, it hasn't been done by you. It's been done mainly by the United States of America, Great Britain, France, the big power. And the Russians were, were allowed to get in to a certain extent. But look what they do to the Russians right now, economically and financially. You realize that all these institutions were created by and to serve the West. The Russians are right, 100% correct. They didn't say it because they were allowed to participate, very limited participation. But they were proven that these guys look at them, or just like, Truman looked at the Russians. When the Russians, the Soviets, achieved that fantastic thing of having an atomic bomb, right? Truman, the president, I think he was not a president then, I think. Was he? No, I don't think he was. No, Truman wasn't. Was he? 45? No, he wasn't, I think. Truman wrote in his memoir that those, and this is what Truman said, not what I say. He was surprised that that's how I said, age people could achieve that. This is what Truman said, not me. Truman said in his memoirs that he was surprised, and this is the term he used the term Asiatic. That's what he used, not me. He used how could those people create such a thing? So that's the same thing these guys look at the Russians right now. Some still picking, coconuts from the coconut trees. From the cocoa trees. So what Russia does? Russia does not recognize return of United Nations security sanctions on Iran. That means we will not do it. What are you going to do to us? Nothing. Blow us. You do all kind of abuses against United Nations international law, however we want to call it. And why should we care? Enforce that if you can. Russia does not recognize the return of United Nations sanctions on Iran. Russian UN Ambassador Vasily Nebenzia told reporters on Wednesday when asked if Moscow would enforce the measures. The United States reinstated an arms embargo, weapons, and other sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program on Saturday evening, following a process known as snapback. Remember the word snapback, triggered by European powers, that is France, Great Britain, and Germany, if I remember correctly. Tehran has warned the move would be met with a harsh response. They said decisive. That would decide what exactly? That's the word they use, decisive. Britain, France, and Germany, as I said, initiated the snapback process at the United Nations Security Council over accusations Iran had violated a 2015 deal that aimed to stop it from developing a nuclear bomb. Iran denies seeking nuclear weapons. And this is what Nebenzia said. We do not recognize the snapback as coming into force. He said at the press conference, we'll be living in two parallel realities, because for some snapback happened, for us it didn't. That creates a problem. How we will get out of it, let's see. Good job. That's how a strong, confident country speaks like. All right, next one. Thunberg, Greta Garbo. CNN, this is the report from CNN. You can look on this article, you're not going to find the word international waters or Israelis waters. Greta Thunberg and other activists detained as Israeli military intercepts Gaza-bound aid ships. So let's say these ships would be starting in London. Let's say they start right here. All right, they initiate here. Could Israel stop them right here? Could they stop them right here? Could they? Unless you are right here by this piece of thing here, unless you are in this area about 15 miles, 15 kilometers away, you have no right to stop anybody here. Wherever they are, unless if you are allowed, everybody else is allowed to intercept your garbage coming here or here or here. You know what it is? Yeah, the Houthis. All right, let's move on. So, I dare you to find international water. And this is what I said. The Israeli military has intercepted dozens of boats sailing as part of an aid flotilla towards Gaza, detaining dozens of passengers, including Swedish climate activists, and triggered global condemnation. The caravan is rolling, the dogs are barking. The same thing as here. We live in two parallel realities. You will not be able to enforce anything against us. Nobody will enforce anything against these guys. Why? United States of America. And you can look here, and I want you to see where that is. I'm quoting, one last vessel of this provocation remains at a distance. If it approaches, it attempts to enter an active combat zone and breach the blockade will also be prevented. All right, illegal attack, the interception right here. The interception. The first ships were intercepted and boarded by, but where? Right here. About 70 nautical miles from Gaza. That is 70 nautical miles. All right, let's go in this shitty area. And 70 nautical miles. Now, I have this cursor, and the cursor, let me make it like this. Smaller. Like this. This is 10 miles. My cursor is 10 miles. So 70 be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. About here. So it's about here. It's not international, it's international water. Why? Because we go to the truth, which is the evil guys from Sputnik, the Russians. Global Sumud Flotilla, says crew, including Greta Thunberg, detained by Israeli forces. And let me show you. The crew of the global Sumud Flotilla boat Alma, including Greta Thunberg and Sumud leader Papapap, has been illegally detained by Israel after being arrested in international waters last night. You haven't found any on this. I want you to go and find any international water on that. I will, like always, place the title, the headline of the article in the description box below. And I want you to take your microscope and look over that article written by, I'm going to give you some names who wrote that article, International Waters, right there. Is Jack Guy, or Gay, Bill Stockwell, Dana Carney, Abir Salman, and Lex Harvey. So all these people needed to do mental gymnastics to be dishonest. Why? You don't have to know, because it's bad enough as it is. They make it like, well, these guys were defending, a war zone. We actually protected you from your own harm. Therefore, that's what we did. No, it was illegally detained in the international waters. Why do you do it in the international waters? I have no idea. Why don't you wait for them to come in your territorial waters? Wait for in your territory, and then you can apprehend them. And then you have all the jurisdiction you want, all of it. But no, you know why they do this? Because they can. They can, they're allowed, and they want to show everybody else that we don't care. And you know what? Nobody can do anything to us. Why? United States is our boy. Oh, are you here? Mabe. United States is right here. Tell something. Oh, you got it in $5 for swallowing. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. God damn it.